How's it going, everyone? I wanted to make this video to talk about getting dentures at 28 years old. As you can see, I have a set of dentures, and I still talk a little funny. I'm still getting used to talking with them, but I am just about now 2 weeks from having my extractions done. And I wanted to talk about it because I know it's a scary concept for some people, and it was scary for me too. So, let's talk about what it's like getting dentures. But first, a little backstory. For me, I had to get all of my teeth removed for one reason. They were rotting and chipping, and I guess it's redundant to say the second reason was there was no saving my teeth. I believe I inherited bad teeth from my mom because back in the 80s, she had to have all of hers removed before she was about 25 years old, I believe. So I had to go through the process of getting my teeth removed and deciding to go with a full set of dentures. And I was able to get them right before my extractions. So as soon as my extractions were done, I was able to get my dentures installed. And to walk you through the process of what that was like for me, even though everyone's mileage will vary, I mainly want to go over it just to ease some people's fears, because I had some fears as well going and getting my teeth removed. I had 29 teeth that had to be pulled because there's only 3 of my teeth that were actually good. Those were the ones that I could possibly keep if I really wanted to, but considering how bad my teeth had gotten, it was just better to get them removed. Ever since I was a kid, I had constant dental issues, mainly in the form of cavities. I never really had issues with root canals. I never had issues with abscesses. I did have to have my wisdom teeth removed when I was 17 years old. However, those did not even cause me any pain. It just happened to be during one of my routine 6-month or year cleanings whenever I would get them done. They did my x-rays and saw my wisdom teeth were coming in, and I only had 3. One here, and one here. And they were coming in sideways. So they just weren't even coming in down or straight. So there's a possibility of me keeping them. So those had to be removed. But every time I would go to the dentist, every cleaning, they would always tell me, hey, there's a cavity forming there. Let's go ahead, let's get you scheduled to get that filled in. No matter how well I took care of my teeth, I brushed them at least twice a day. I even flossed. I was one of those weird kids that would floss his teeth. I would always have issues with cavities forming. And I should have known that was pretty much going to spell what the rest of my life was going to be like. Because after I got out of high school, I stopped going to the dentist regularly every 6 months. So those fillings pretty much stopped. So it was just a slow downward spiral to the point now, I think about it, I should have had my teeth removed about 4 years ago, instead of here we are now, where they were just constantly chipping, constantly breaking, and now I was experiencing pain through either tooth infections or nerves in my teeth being exposed and getting damaged. So I went through the process of getting them removed. Rachael paid for my extractions because I was unable to do so with my insurance, unfortunately. That's an issue in and all of itself. But I also got my immediate dentures made, had my impressions done, and when it came for extractions, they did put me sedated pretty well. I wasn't completely asleep. I was still breathing on my own, but I do not remember the procedure at all. I barely remember the drive home. I have very vague memories of what the drive home was like. Maybe a couple of times I came out of consciousness or unconsciousness, but I ultimately remember waking up in my living room with a mouth full of gauze, and my teeth were gone. And I had immediate dentures put in. And from there, I had the process of just the next 3 days, because I was told by the company that made my dentures to leave them in for 3 days, to not only get my mouth used to them, but also to allow my extraction sites to heal. And one good advice I can tell you, when you are given your pain medication, follow your schedule for taking those medications. Even if you have to wake up in the middle of the night to take your pain medicine, you must do that. Because if you miss it, you're probably going to regret it. Granted, I did follow that procedure, and I really did not have any pain when it came to my extractions. They really didn't hurt. Probably because I was following my schedule, but also, too, I probably just had a pretty decent pain tolerance. I didn't really feel pain from them. Now, I felt discomfort from wearing my dentures because they were uncomfortable, where the impressions were made when I still had all of my teeth. The fitment was not the best. So I had to get used to using them, and I'm still getting used to using them, but it was just mainly discomfort from them wearing on my gums, not being able to chew, and not being able to use adhesive. I was told for the first 2 weeks to not use any adhesive due to my stitches healing, and as well, I have continual swelling that's going to constantly go down. The only two issues that I had from this whole experience so far is when I had a lot of swelling, mainly on my left side here, my dentures were rubbing up against the tendon in my jaw, and it actually tore it up pretty bad, to the point that beginning of this week, or the beginning of last week, Monday, I had to take my lower dentures out because those were the ones that were rubbing up against not only my jaw here when they were closed up with my upper dentures, but also, too, they were rubbing a sore onto my tongue. So I took them out for 3 days to let them heal because like I said, it was all torn up, and I didn't know what was going on back there. With my tongue, I knew it was because of my dentures, but this other pain, I had no idea what the hell it was until I took them out, I rinsed off my mouth, and then I tried to feel back and see exactly what it was, and when I touched my jaw tendon, I nearly passed out from the pain. It was so bad. Those are the only two issues that I really had besides fitment of my dentures. And even today, day 13, after my extractions, I went and got a soft reline, and it's like night and day difference. They do fit really well, and I do have to get used to talking with them more because now they feel a little bit more bulky from the extra material that they did add, but they feel very soft against my gums now, because when my immediate dentures were made, it's just a very base soft acrylic because they know they're going to build up material on top of that. So for me, that was honestly the worst of the pain. Getting used to eating again. Tonight was the first time I had a fairly decent meal compared to puddings, soups, applesauce, ice cream, those sorts of foods. And just learning to cope with having this foreign object in my mouth. It is getting easier every day. The first several days were the worst because my mouth did not want what was inside of here, so I was constantly drooling. I had a lot of saliva. It was not a good time, and I had saliva constantly finding its way underneath the top plate. But I've gotten to the point now where things are honestly starting to look on the up and up. They weren't too bad to begin with. It was just more so having to cope with everything, having to get used to them, having to put them every day into my mouth, and getting used to having dentures. And where tonight I was able to have a pretty decent meal. I made sausage, peppers, and rice. I was able to eat most of it. I just still had issues with tearing up the meat from the sausages, but everything's just going to come up from here. So if you are scared about getting dentures, it's okay. Everyone is going to be a little bit different when it comes to it. Don't worry about feeling old. because when you get a nice set of dentures, when you pick out what a shade that you want them to be, the second you look in the mirror and you do this, and you can see a perfect smile, that feeling is going to go away. And you're not going to realize that you're wearing a set of false teeth. Instead, you're going to see how beautiful your smile can be. And yeah, you're going to talk funny. I'm still talking funny. But doing it every day, that's the hard part. But doing it every day as well is going to make it easier. I'm 28 years old and I got dentures. I was 27 when I got hearing aids. These objects are here to make your life better, not to make you feel worse. So if you're scared about doing it, it's okay. It's okay. Everyone's gonna be supportive of you. Don't worry about it. You're gonna do just fine. And thank you guys for checking in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.